Welcome. In this video, we are going to talk about PTE listening. And in PTE listening, the question type we are discussing in this video is summarized spoken text. Now, to start off, to give a brief introduction about what kind of questions comes under this. In this, after listening to a small recording, you need to write the summary of the lecture in your own words, between 50 to 70 words in the space provided. The skill assessed in this are listening and writing. And about the time, you have almost 10 minutes to complete the whole task. But for these 10 minutes, there's a waiting time also. You will prepare some kind of notes and organize thoughts in your mind. You will write the whole thing. And of course, you need some time to cross-check and to revise whether you actually have written what exactly you thought you would be writing. So if I talk in this term, you have just less than 5 minutes to complete the whole writing task. That is why this is one such question type where the time management would also be a crucial key of scoring good marks. So the screen in the exam will look something like this. This would be the status bar where the audio would be working on, and you can adjust the volume and you can see the progress of the audio clip. This is the space where you're supposed to write. You can cut, copy, paste. And as I said, you have to make sure the words should be between 50 to 70, and you can see the word count here. Okay, so let's see how the marking is done. And is there a way to understand and do these questions in a much better way? So there are a couple of things which you need to take care for scoring. One is, the topmost thing is the content. Content is the stuff which you are writing there. So it is a listening thing where you listen out everything and then you need to write this in your own words, the summarized version of what the speaker talked about. So if you're going to capture all the major elements of the audio, then you'll get good 2 marks. If you missed out on 1 or 2, you'll deduct 1 mark. If you omit more than 2 such aspects, then you will not get scored here. So there is a way which you can understand the different elements or contexts. Let me show you an example. Now this is a transcript of an audio clip where the speaker is talking about the global growth and why it is important and how to survive in such globally competitive field. So one of the way when you're jotting down the notes is to organize your thoughts and notes, and probably the same phrases what the speaker talked about in such a way. So this is the central idea of the audio, and based on this idea you're going to jot down the important things which the speaker talked about. So for example, in this transcript, if we see that there are important things, for example, usually the first line contains the topic of the talk. For example, in this, global growth is imperative for us. So I understand that the whole passage is largely about global growth. So this could be the central point of your writing. And then there could be some subsidiary part which supports the main argument that you're supposed to be a well-known brand, which actually helps you to grow globally, to grow and thrive around the country for years to come. So branding is one such thing. You need to be locally relevant. This could be another theme which adds to the global growth. It is also about being creative locally, so locally relevant and locally creative. So all such things actually gives you this idea. Okay, global growth is the central highlight of this passage, and then there are the important things, and then you try to find the relationship among those. So make sure whatever summary you are going to write, it covers all these major aspects of this. This is one such passage where you have to check out the relationship, something like this. So this relationship could be something what we just did, or it could be something where the sequence is happening. So earlier this, after this that. It could be a timeline of something. It could be something which starts off with the history and how it progresses. That has been captured. In that case, this is how you make the notes. Or it could be something which is into contrast or compare or the different types. So in that case, this is one way where you can use the note-taking type technique. Okay, so moving ahead, other than content, these are the other four items which we need to understand nicely so that we score the maximum: the form, grammar, vocabulary, and spelling. Form is actually easy to understand. Form actually talks about that you have to write anything between 50 to 70 words. Only the word count that matters. So if the word count is between 50 to 70, you'll get good 2 scores. If it is more than 70 but less than 100, or between 40 to 49 word, 1 marks is going to be deducted. If it is less than 40 or more than 100, then there is no scoring done. Similarly, even if it is between 50 to 70 words but there is no punctuation, or everything is written in bullet points or note-taking format, or very short sentences, or in capital letters, then the no scoring would be done for you. So very particular that you are not going to miss out on marks like this. Also important is to understand that if you score good in content, then the computer actually moves forward and check out what all you have written in which format, and the scoring is done accordingly. But in case if you are not scoring anything in the content, then the computer stops there, and the computer is not going to evaluate or score anything for the grammar or vocabulary portion which you have written. So number one priority is content, then only you move to the grammar portion. Now grammar is something which takes a lot of time to build up, and for question type, where something like essay, where you have to use complex grammatical structure, things could be a little different. But for such question type, I would advise you to use correct and simple grammar rather than the complex one. There are a few rules of grammar which always, we all commit mistakes. You can be particularly sure of that you are not doing something like this. So make sure you understand nouns, countable, uncountable, singular, plural. You also have to make use of correct subject-verb agreements. Try to make simple sentences. There's a link of an online video which can actually helps you in revise and just see how the grammar works. Otherwise, you can take help of any other video also, any other resources also, to just revise what are the different grammar rules. Okay, next is vocabulary. So do understand that vocabulary is something which takes years to build upon. So it is not something that within a day or a week you can build upon your vocabulary. But what we can do is we can play smart and use whatever vocabulary we have, also what the speaker talked about in the passage, and we are going to use exactly same in our summarized version so that we can achieve good marks. So one of the way is to use complex words only if you're very sure of their spelling. Otherwise, use simple words. Jot down, while you're note taking, jot down few important words or phrases which the speaker talked about, and you can use the same in your summarized spoken text. Okay. Another way to check your vocabulary is to read out at the time of revising your summary in chunks, not each word singularly, because when you study this in chunk, you will understand the overall contextual meaning of the passage rather than in one stand show. Spelling mistake is another one point where you can lose your marks. So be very sure that you are writing correct spelling. Use simple words if you're not very confident about the spelling you are using. Do not repeat the same spelling mistake 10 times in a passage, because that will count to 10 mistakes, and of course you will not score anything. Also, the computer understands British as well as American English quite well, but any mixing of such languages or such spellings would be a problem. So if you're using British English in your passage throughout, please use British English only. Okay, so these are the few tips which actually will give you an upper hand on how to perform in such question type. I hope you take care of these all and you score the maximum. I wish you all the best.